Welcome back. Welcome back to Get on the Line, the sports podcast that goes beyond stats and scoreboards, explaining the real lives of athletes on and off the field. I'm Joe Schumacher, and today we're joined by Ava Uribe, a standout on the Syracuse women's soccer team. She's going to share us her journey as she was a transfer student, what it was like growing up on the move for soccer, traveling all the time, and how she's making waves in the world of sports analytics, including winning the MIT Sloan research paper competition. All of this while balancing a demanding life of being a Division I athlete. Here is Ava Uribe. You're all the way from Washington.
Yeah.
That's a far, far way away.
Yeah, that flight, like, especially the one after Christmas break, it's like, oh my God. I fly all the way to New York usually, and then I get to jump on like a tiny plane to Cuse. So.
Okay. And were you always wanting to come over here, or were you wanting to...
I kind of was like really open-minded. I was lucky enough that when I played club, I played DA. So our showcases were like North Carolina, Florida, usually like a Midwest one. So we got like recognition from like schools, obviously on the West Coast, but all over the place. And I think my parents always just encouraged me to like reach as high as possible, and they'll come up and meet me where I am. So I was super lucky to be able to do that, I guess.
And you're a first generation, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah.
So what kind of impact did that have on you going forward and like trying to like drive you towards this athletic like journey that you're on right now?
Yeah, I think I don't know, for as long as I can remember, I knew I wanted to play college soccer. Like, I love it. I've always wanted to get an education and like have that college experience, but I can't imagine like anything but playing like the highest level of soccer possible. So I think from a young age, I knew that's what I wanted, and that like just doing things the traditional way wouldn't get me there, I guess. And so it was really awesome that like my parents supported me from the start, and you know, they would drive me all over to club teams that were like over an hour away just because they knew they had like the best, you know, like, I don't know, best teams, best competition would get me like where I needed to be. And then always training, like always, before, after practice. I trained every day before high school at 5 a.m. with my dad in my backyard, practice, and then sprints after, like always just doing the little extra things. So when it came time to like do recruiting, it was just fun because I had already done everything. I didn't have to send a bunch of film. I had already spoken for myself, I guess, on the field, and I just got to like have amazing conversations and just like have a good time. So
yeah, no, and that's awesome. And some people don't really realize that. I really feel like this is mainly a soccer thing, where if you are at that level in high school that you aren't, I don't want to say not allowed to play on your high school team, but like you usually don't. Was there ever a time during your high school that you were like, oh, I really wish I could play on the high school team?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like a little bit. Like, obviously I loved the friends I had in high school, and getting to like play on the field with them would have been amazing. They were super supportive though. Like, I never got any backlash, like, why aren't you playing with us? Like, whatever. Yeah. Or like, you think you're too good. It was never like that.
That's
they
good.
were always
that
like,
would suck.
Right? Like, I'm like, those are my friends. But they were always like, no, like, we see what you're doing, and like you need to do it. And the only year so I played DA, and then it kind of disbanded during COVID. And so the only year I was like eligible to play high school soccer was my senior year. And I just had like a sit down conversation with my parents, and I was like, what do you guys think? Like, obviously club isn't playing this fall. We were fall for high school, and I was like, what should I do? And, you know, they were like, keep doing what you've been doing, which is like just doing a little bit extra. And so we actually ended up finding a boys ECNL team, age, 04 boys ECNL. And I remember at first I was
you run it up
so
on them?
nervous. No, I was so nervous. I was like, I came to the first practice, and I'm like, no one's talking to me. Like, I'm just like standing there, and they're like, who's this girl? Like, what is she doing here? And honestly, by the end, like, it was so much fun. The guys are great, like really just pushed me, my speed of play, my physicality, like things that I didn't have the opportunity to work on, like when I'm doing lessons or like training by myself. I got to develop, and like to have that right before going to college in December, like I think was the best transition ever, and ended up being a cool experience that came out of something kind of weird. So
wait, that's awesome. I feel like I would have like freaked out a little bit.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, maybe on the outside I was like, oh, this is cool. On the inside I was like, I can't.
So nervous.
Yeah, so nervous.
Dude, I was like in elementary school, I think, and my mom accidentally like signed me up for like a boys like basketball clinic, and I went there and I was like crying, and she's like, you're going. We already paid for this.
Paid for it.
And
That's
I'm
like what my parents have done.
Go.
Yeah.
You're like, don't make me go, please.
That's so
funny. But you were only like one of 5 athletes that signed a letter of intent like out of your grade, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Honestly, like my grade, we were warriors with COVID. I would say that like was so hard on so many people. And so it ended up being like a pretty small amount, but I would say small but strong. Like I think of the 5 of us that signed, it was all power 4.
That's crazy.
Or power 5 at the time.
Yeah.
For the most part. And like we all have like continued to develop. I mean, a couple of people have moved around. Obviously, I've moved around, but like everyone has really just grinded it out. And so small but mighty class.
Yeah. And then you clearly have had like a business drive for like from an early age, even if you didn't like realize it. Like you were competing in like DECA in high school too. You won states.
Yeah.
You go way back with the business world.
Yes. Oh my goodness. DECA really does bring me back.
I did DECA. I was so bad at it. I was awful at it.
That was something. No, DECA was great. I feel like, and you might relate to this, like, I think sometimes like elite athletes just like have this thing where you're just used to competing in everything.
Yeah.
And like always just trying to, even if it's like a little bit annoying, like just trying to be the best and not like in any way take other people down, but it's like, like you can do it. And it's like, if I'm going to go push myself on the field, like why not push myself in the classroom too, I guess.
Exactly. Well, it's also why you're going to do something if you don't want to be good at it. It's almost like a waste of time. But apparently not everyone thinks that way.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess not.
It's kind of like an all or none. Like it's like, if I'm not going to go 100%, then let's just not do it.
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
So while you were at Penn State, can you kind of walk me through when you realized like, hey, like I think I'm going to transfer?
Yeah, absolutely. I loved my time at Penn State, like still to this day, best friends in the world, best people. And I committed my sophomore year because we had the dead period on June 15th. And I think I committed like June 29th. I knew long before then that that's where I wanted to be. Like heart was set on it probably since before dead period was a thing, I talked to them in I think 8th grade. And I was like, yep, that's the place I want to be. So I came early. So I graduated high school in December and went for that early spring, like gray shirt semester.
Is that just a soccer thing?
Yes. It's like a very much fall sport thing.
Okay. Because I've never
it doesn't use up any eligibility because you're not actually, your spring games are like scrimmages, so they don't count.
It's like fall ball for lacrosse.
Exactly. So that's the nice thing about fall sports is you can do that in high school. And I thought, why not like just give myself a little bit of an extra opportunity to get extra ready for the fall. So I went and did that, loved it. It was a grind. It was really honestly everything I wanted it to be, got pushed. And then I came back in the summer, did summer workouts, was feeling really good. And then it was like the 4th day of preseason, the day after running the B test, I ended up I got like tackled during practice and I had a grade 4 high ankle sprain, which is like the highest grade possible. I mean, my ankle ballooned. It was like black and blue. And I was like, oh, this isn't good. Like, honestly, this sounds bad, but I think if I would have broken it, it would have healed faster.
It probably would have. You can't do anything with
You can't do anything. And so at first I was like, very determined to make it back. And my coach was like, yep, like just grind it out and we'll get you in when you're in. And then by the time I was cleared, it was like tail end of Big Ten play. We were going into the Big Ten tournament and obviously like the front line was killing it. And it just didn't seem like it was going to be a good use of eligibility. I mean, at that point, when you're in postseason, you don't know if you have 2 games left or if you have 10 games left.
Yeah.
And so it was like, do I risk it? And I remember like I was on the sideline for Illinois and it was the first game I was cleared for. And my coach is like, am I putting you in or not? I mean, she was awesome. She was like, it's up to you. Like, if you want to save it, I understand. But if not, like, we're going to put you in. And I was like, oh no, like
that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I was like, wait, this is crazy.
I would have crashed.
I know. I was like, you're like, can like look in your parents' and you're like, what I didn't know. I was like,
call my mom really quick?
Can we like pause the game so I can think about this? No. And I was like, no, like I'm going to save the year, right? Like this, I think I'm a freshman. I'm going to learn from the people in front of me, be a sponge, still train and practice. And you get that red shirt if you haven't played any games. So I was like, I'll just use it. So I used it. Team did really well. We won the Big Ten tournament, made it to Sweet 16 in the NCAA tournament. A lot of fun.
Light work.
Spring, it was a blast. I'm saying that like from the sideline. It was a blast cheering them on and everything. But from then that spring, we were kind of finding a new identity. We graduated a ton of players. And it just seemed like my style of play, which is extremely technical, ball at my feet, just 1v1s moving the ball, wasn't really fitting into the system for the play, for the style of play we wanted. And so like having a really honest conversation with my coaches, I just decided that I think I'd be a better fit elsewhere. And from then, I think I watched a ton of film, ton of research, and I think that I wanted to be in the ACC.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been super competitive. Like I've shown that.
Yeah.
From DECA to the soccer field. And I knew the ACC, had the best of the best in terms of competition and a ton of super technical teams, super technical players. So when Syracuse reached out, I was really excited because I was like, yes, like I knew that that's where I wanted to be. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, because transferring can be a little bit like tricky. It's almost like you don't want to leave the people behind, but then it's like kind of have to do what's best for you.
Yeah.
And
heartbreaking.
yeah, people don't really like realize how much like goes into it. I mean, I know that we're in like a state of like NIL and all of that, but like I feel like when it comes to certain other sports, it's more for like passion and purpose rather than that, which is what it sounds like what that was for you.
Exactly.
But which makes it a really, really difficult decision. And some people don't really realize that. But I mean, you're at Syracuse now. You're studying sports management and you have a minor in sports analytics.
Yeah.
How are you liking that so far? I mean, you seem to be like diving in head first.
I love it. No, it's been the perfect like intersection of my passions, getting to work on sports all day and really just like understand the other business side and analytical side of everything we do every day is super fun. It's kind of like I said, a combination of my passions, and the sport analytics world is so competitive. Like I would have never known that, but like seriously, the kids in my minor, their major, are like the smartest humans I've ever been around, and like truly push me. A lot of our classes are curved, stuff like that. Like they push us so hard to really like work together and then compete against each other. And the work that we end up creating, like every single day I hear about someone in my class getting published in a professional journal with like other like industry professionals, and we're like kids, and it's like what? Like, how is that even possible? So it's been like a really good push for me, I think, academically.
Yeah, that's awesome. And having that type of environment in the classroom is like, some people don't like it, but I think it makes you be better, whether people want to say it or not.
Yeah, like it's tough, but it has a reward.
Yeah,
for sure.
but you won the MIT Sloan research paper competition. Where did that? You're acting like they all like. So where did the idea for that paper come from for you?
Yeah.
Before you got all that like recognition for it and all that, like where did this like really start?
Yeah, absolutely. So the MIT Sloan like sport analytics competition, which like when I first came to Syracuse, I didn't even know what it was, is like the pinnacle of sport analytics. Like when you come in as a first year, like that's what they tell you. Like just to submit something, your goal in 4 years, if you can just submit something, would be so cool. If you make it to the finals, which is 50 papers, that's incredible. Only a couple Syracuse people have ever done that, a couple students, and then like making it to the competition, which is only 6 papers, like I think has only been done twice, maybe 3 times. And so like they tell you that in the beginning, and it's super like inspiring. You're like, oh my goodness, I gotta do it. But like me being my minor, I was like, I don't know if you feel this too, but it feels like those things aren't reserved for athletes. Like as an athlete, you don't have access to that. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, it almost feels as if like it's like a distance away because there's so much extra work outside of it.
Exactly.
And I don't know. For me, this sounds really like, I don't know if it sounds stupid, but like as an athlete doing something in that space, I almost feel like people think I'm only getting it because I am an athlete.
No, that's real. And like, like you're given like special privileges, or they're just like more excited.
But it's like we're not.
So you're like, actually,
you actually have less time than you.
I have no time. So I think when that was like mentioned, I was like, oh, that's cool for them.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I want to do that, but like that's not happening. So my first ever semester at Syracuse, I took like truly your first analytics class, the most basic one possible, with Professor Sanders. And our final was a make your own final, pick any topic, find some available data, and create like one of the models we did in class. Super basic. Obviously, I'm going to look for soccer. So I like scour and I find this penalty kick data set from 2015, 2016 UEFA champions in Europa League, like best of the best. And I was like, wait, this is cool. Like, PKs are, soccer is hard to do analytics on, just because like there's no plays, no start and end. It's, it's very like fluid. And I was like, wait, PKs, that's something, you start from the same spot every time. It's consistent. Exactly. And I was like, this could be something like, what if we just like throw it into our code something and just see what comes up? So, with the help of my teacher, coded something, turned it in for my final. He writes me back. It was like right around Christmas time. Like I'm not even checking my email at this point. He's like, your final was like really cool. This might be something. And from there, we talked about like MIT, and like it felt so far in the distance. And a year and a half later, we competed and won the whole thing. Like, it is actually crazy how it came to be. We were able to collaborate with another Syracuse professor, Professor Ehrlich, and then also 2 international professors, James Reed from the UK and Carl Singleton from Scotland. And together with everyone's like different knowledge, everyone like used their strengths differently. Yeah. So I did a lot of the soccer knowledge, just like practical applications. I coded the entire first part of it, and really brought that. And then some of like Professor Ehrlich brought in some really cool like visualizations and modeling, and then we were able to bring in other data and create something really cool. And like basically we highlighted that there is this risk aversion problem, which is present in every sport. Like you hear about that, right? Like we're risk averse, we're not taking enough risks, and no one's talking about it. Like because they're the best, right? You don't think like, of course they're doing everything as best as possible. You wouldn't think there'd be a problem, right? Yeah. Like these are the best of the best, and it's like, hey, like obviously, they're ballers, but we can improve still. There are goals left on the table from penalty kicks, and that's like how it came to be. And I was the first female ever to win it, so that was like... I was going to say,
that's also crazy.
And I didn't even know that, obviously, until, like, they announced it, and they're like, and she's, like, the first female ever. And at first I was like, oh, my God, that's so cool. And then I was like, really?
Wait, what?
Like, that kind of makes me sad. Yeah. I'm like, this has been around 19 years, and there are so many amazing, like, women in my classes. Obviously, small number, but, like, the ones that are in my classes are just incredibly intelligent people, and I'm like, no one has had this opportunity yet, so hopefully it's just the start for you
paved the way a little bit,
maybe just a little bit.
That's awesome though. I mean, I understand what you're saying in terms of like it makes you a little sad. Like that would make me a little sad too.
Like, wait.
But I mean, that when you did all of that research, was that during the school year?
Yeah. It was like a comment. So it was like from December, and then we like did a little bit over like that second semester, a little bit over summer, a big shift at the end of the fall this year, and then in winter we were just like prepping our presentation.
So what advice would you give, I guess, like other athletes who are wanting to do a little bit more than they are outside of the classroom but feeling like they're kind of scarce on time?
Connect with your professors. Like, there's no way if I just like decided to apply for that competition by myself, I would have been able to get organized and find the time, find the resources. Like, my professors were so incredibly supportive and connected me with these resources I didn't even know we had. Like, as we're doing this project, I'm learning skills and like building skills alongside like having them help me, and that was like the best learning opportunity ever. I think at Penn State, when I transferred, I remember thinking like, if I need a recommendation, I don't think any of these professors know my name. Like, I'm in classes of like 800 people to be fair, but like still, like I didn't make any efforts to like get to know my professors. And at Syracuse, the smaller class sizes have made that like 10 times easier. So,
well, now that that's been like, it's been like a couple months or so with that, like in the past, have you had time to like reflect on it and really like absorb like, wow, like I really did that? Because I feel like in the moment when it happens, you're like, oh, this is cool. And then you're like, oh, wait, like that actually happened.
I think so. I think it's like conversations like this that like, bring me back. Like, I agree. Sometimes like I always laugh for some reason. It's my first instinct when I talk about it.
I do that
like,
too.
Yeah. It's just like, because it's just like disbelief. Like,
it's imposter syndrome.
Yeah, it totally is. It's like, yeah, that is me. Like, I'm such like an easygoing, chill person. But I guess like when it's time to lock in, I lock in. So I'm still soaking it in for sure.
So going forward from here, like what are you thinking are your like next steps like after you graduate? I mean, you have another year, right?
Yeah, I have actually 3 more years of eligibility.
3, wow.
Yeah, so we're playing with a lot of extra time. I am going back for my master's in coming back to Syracuse for my master's in finance in the fall. Okay. And we'll kind of just see where that year takes us. I'm still rehabbing an ACL right now. So, yeah, I have a little bit of eligibility, but I want to work on the business side of sports. I think ideally as a sports agent. And so just trying to expose myself to as many different facets. Like if I have extra eligibility, I just want to keep learning and like really growing both on the field as a player, obviously, but off the field. So that way, you know, I want to play as long as possible. I want to play professional, but when that comes so close, like I know I'm creating stuff, a foundation now that I'll be really excited about in the future.
That's awesome. I love that for you.
Hopefully it works out like that.
Hey, you got to manifest it.
Right?
If you don't believe it, it's not going to come true.
Exactly.
All right. So I'm going to wrap up with, I have this segment called Players Picks where I'm going to ask you a question and you're going to tell me either yes or no or just your opinion on it.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
Nervous.
All right. Black soccer cleats.
No.
No.
I know that's a hot take.
I don't think that's a hot take.
Oh, hear me out. I don't even
They look
need
like loafers.
bright I don't even need like bright colors. Like white clean cleats. I just love the look of them. Also our uniforms, like black cleats with the orange uniform looks like Halloween to me.
No,
My opinion.
I agree. All right. So the thick Nike like tie headbands.
No, absolutely no. Sorry to my teammates that just offended. You guys, though, it's my head shape. A, they slip off the back every time. B, my ears will be out to here.
Yeah, I had my angles like redone and I wore my lacrosse helmet, obviously. And I had to wear like thick pre-wrap so it wouldn't like come in my face. And I was like, I look like I'm wearing a junk headband.
At least you had a helmet on, right?
Yeah.
So you're like,
All right, so what's your go-to game day hairstyle?
Okay, this year it was double bubble braids.
Okay, I like
kind
that.
of like it's like a mouthful to say. I can't tell you what inspired it. I do try to be a little different. Also, my parents, because I'm from far away, usually have to watch online. And they can obviously see my number, but they love like when it's easy to quickly spot me on the field, like darting around. And they said that the double bubble braids, like they were like, yep, that's her. So
That's awesome. I love that. All right, so if you're going on a travel like trip, what is one thing that is always going to be in your duffel bag that you can't leave without?
What? Probably my noise canceling headphones. I love my teammates to death, but
Loud on the bus.
It gets loud on the bus, and pregame, like I'm locked. I'm 100% not like this at all.
Yeah.
So I think noise canceling headphones.
All right, this is my last question. This is a big one. Socks above or below the knee?
Above. I know the trend, like they're getting lower and lower every day, but I'll stay consistent above the knee every time.
Okay, I mean, I wouldn't know
You're like,
because I'm not a soccer player, but I get mixed reviews. I also just see different ones.
it's crazy. It's like fads. Like you wouldn't think that
Yeah.
fads in a uniform that hasn't changed in centuries,
Yeah.
but
It's like lacrosse helmets. It's like the tilt where they like try to like pull it all the way down so you like barely see your eyes. I'm like, some of you can't see.
I was
right
gonna
now.
say, doesn't that make it harder for you?
Like some of y'all can't see right now. You're straight up lying to yourself.
Yeah, you're like, you trying to look cool, but like we all know you can't see.
It's like also like me though. Like
Yeah.
I'm not, like I it like literally is me.
That's so
All right,
funny.
and then what's your biggest soccer ick?
Oh my goodness. Biggest soccer ick. I feel like I definitely have some, but why, like, brain goes blank.
Yeah, I know. I have like I don't really even know what my lacrosse ick would be. I'm trying to think.
Oh, I know. I love how as soon as we walk out of here, I'm gonna be like, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, no, probably.
I can definitely think of one.
I don't even know. I don't like when people roll their shorts up too high.
Rolling your shorts up, although sometimes I'm a little guilty of that. I think
Like there's an extent. Like there's a limit to
I
which you
think
can roll.
I think like when it's like 5 degrees out and we're like rolling sleeves
Yes.
over like when you're rolling up your sleeves to make it into a tank and it's like you're gonna get frostbite.
Yeah.
So I'd say like rolling sleeves when it's like not talking like 100-degree game. That one is like one that definitely is a
Yeah.
soccer ick. I have to admit, like the socks that are too low isn't a soccer ick. Like I'm not saying you can't have them below the knee, but like when you're wearing them like ankle socks, I'm like, that's just not the uniform. Like
Yeah,
we
you're like-
wear high
you're
socks,
missing that.
whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
So I think that's another one.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's probably what I got.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. I really, really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
It's awesome.